And we are live. Welcome to everyone that's joining us from around the world. I know we had a huge number register. Hopefully we have lots joining us and I can see the numbers going up and up. So we're just going to take a moment to wait for everybody to pop on. And I'd like to take the time to introduce myself. I'm Heather Creamer. I'm the co-founder with Medexin Fitness Institute and also the co-author of the Natural Nutrition Coach course. So I'm so excited to be here today. I'm also a cancer survivor and a cancer exercise specialist. And that's how I met up with Andrea Leonard, who's the president and founder of the Cancer Exercise Training Institute. And we are doing a joint venture to do these series of webinars this week. So we hope you enjoy today's presentation, which is going to be a deep dive into the Natural Nutrition Coach curriculum. And you'll have a chance to ask lots of questions because you've got the three authors here with you. And I'll hand it over to Lynn to introduce herself.
Excellent. So my name is Lynn Fairs. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, but I also work alongside Medexin as one of the co-authors in their business module for the Natural Nutrition Coach course. And then I also work for Study doing some marketing work and working with some of their affiliates as well. So I'm here today to talk about the business module in the Natural Nutrition Coach course. Lisa, did you want to introduce yourself?
I'm next. Yes. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's very exciting to be here with all of you today. My name is Lisa Sakos. I'm also a registered holistic nutritionist and co-author of the Natural Nutrition Coach program. And I've been teaching nutrition for about 23 years now. And my other job is I do corporate nutrition programs. So I go into organizations and arrange wellness and nutrition programs. So this is a really fun program that we've created because all of us have drawn from our personal work experience and our education and knowledge, and we've put all of our skills together to create a really awesome program for you.
That's right. And so even if you're a personal trainer in fitness or just really interested in natural nutrition for yourself, for a family member, I know you're going to get something out of today's program. So I guess, you know what, we might as well get started. Lynn, if you wanted to.
Excellent.
I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, perfect. So I want to welcome everybody here. We are pretty strong-minded in the community area, so stay tuned because we have lots of support for you in your business and want to share what we can offer you. I want you guys to start thinking of your questions about natural nutrition, about the Natural Nutrition Coach program, whatever it is before we get going on our presentation, and make sure you pop them into the Q&A section or the chat section so that we can answer your questions. So we are going to start with a deep dive into the Natural Nutrition Coach course, and Lisa and Heather will be presenting that portion to you. So you're going to learn about what you can find in our Natural Nutrition Coach course today. And then at the end, I'm going to just go over the bonus aspect of the Natural Nutrition Coach program, and that is that we have a business course included in it. So it's kind of a robust program that you can take and will benefit you in more than just learning about nutrition. And then of course, at the end, all three of us are going to be on for an open Q&A. And so you can ask us anything about nutrition, and we're here to, or business for that matter, and we're here to help you. So up first, I believe, is either Heather or Lisa talking about.
It's me, it's Heather. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we're going to progress. So today, as Lynn had said, we're going to do a deeper dive into what the course is all about. We will, for the sake of time, we're going to do a top line, but we wanted to give you a really transparent look at what the course materials look like, what we're covering, and so you get a really great feel for what the program is all about. Do you want to progress this slide? Here we go. And of course, at the end of the webinar, we're going to have some really special offers. And for those of you joining us, we are going to be doing the draw for the winner of it's actually the Natural Nutrition Coach course and the CES. So it's the combo. So it has a great value, and we're going to be doing the announcement for the winner of the draw at the end. So stay tuned. Okay, so just starting off, what is the Natural Nutrition Coach program all about? So it's designed to teach you the principles of healthy eating, individualized nutrition, and that's really important because every person's body is unique. And we like to say there's 8 billion people on the planet and there's 8 billion diets. But the basic principles of healthy eating and whole foods do apply to everyone. So in this program, you're going to find those practical guidelines that you can use to develop programs for your client and have them be very successful. And we also focus in on digestive health, because compromised digestive health is very prevalent. And if you get everything working in digestion, it just makes everything else function so much better. So you want to go ahead, Lynn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Lynn is my Vanna today.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So when we put this program together, originally it was really focused in on the fitness industry. And the reason is because I'm also a personal trainer and as well as a cancer exercise specialist. And I had clients asking me all the time, what should I be eating? And I really didn't feel like I had the background to be able to help them, especially if they had health issues or health concerns or digestive issues. So I became certified as a registered holistic nutritionist. And that really opened my eyes to a whole new world, a whole new way of eating. And I thought, I'd love to bring this to the fitness industry. So when I first approached Lisa about doing this program, and then we brought Lynn in, our focus originally was on fitness professionals or group fitness. But we realized there were a lot of people out there that were just so interested in natural nutrition and had such a passion for it, but they didn't know where to start. And they wanted to make a career, maybe part-time or full-time, but they didn't have the experience or know where to go. So this program is definitely for them. We've had people go through it that's taken the program and they've gone on to start their own business with it. So if you are a fitness professional, adding this course on, it'll help expand your knowledge and skills so you're better service to your client. You can grow your offerings, which is an additional revenue stream. And more importantly, you're going to provide that full service to your client. You can build programs that's going to help them to achieve results that will last. Go ahead, Lynn. So we are going to do a little deeper dive into this program. Like I said, for the sake of time, we'll probably top line a little bit, but we want to be transparent about what you're going to receive. So if you're interested in natural nutrition that nourishes your body and like the concept of cleaner, healthier eating, eating whole foods, if you want to connect with your clients on a deeper level, this course will really provide that ability for you to connect. If you want to add nutrition consulting and feel comfortable doing it, not just adding it, but feel comfortable doing it. And most important is about the outcome for the client. So if you've ever worked with clients, you've tried everything that you know of, and you just they haven't received the results that you were hoping for them and for themselves, and they were hoping for, because sometimes we know it's just not all about the diet. We actually also have a coaching module in here, and it's going to help you to bring them along. So they're going to have long-lasting change with the natural nutrition as well. And we take a total mind-body approach. Okay, go ahead, Lynn. So here are some of the things that you can do when you're working with your client and how you can help them impact not just their diet, but their lifestyle. So it's going to help them with their energy levels, with their productivity, mental health. Sleep is a huge thing. So you can help them with that. Give them tips on how to get better sleep, because that's when when your body repairs itself. Overall health and immunity is, of course, in the time of COVID, it's a huge thing. So we know diet can make a huge difference with overall immunity, and especially gut health, because hey, 70% of our immunity lives in our gut. It's our first line of defense. So healthy gut, better immunity. And you're able to help them to make better eating choices, because when you can relate to them how their diet and lifestyle is impacting all these things, they will make better eating choices, and that's going to lead to a longer term success for them. Okay, go ahead, Lynn. So when we put this program together, we developed it to allow you to really master the basics of nutrition. So we go through, we have 4 modules that are just on nutrition alone. And some of the things we do, you'll be able to create an effective menu plan, make recommendations that will meet and exceed your client's goals. We also really, again, as I had mentioned, focus in on digestive health, and I believe that sets our program apart for the other programs that are available out there, because we know digestive health is so important. It really is the root of all health. And if your digestive system's healthy, chances are, a lot of the other things are working in your body very well. If it's not, there's a trickle-down effect, and you can get, as they call, dis-ease, right? It's disease dis-ease in the body, and the body's not balanced. We can work with clients to help improve metabolism and digestion, and help them to establish not just a weight loss program, but a weight maintenance program. Because there's lots of weight loss programs out there that people do and they're successful with. The challenge is to keep them so that they are able to maintain what they've been doing. Otherwise, they'll go back to the way they were before, put the weight back on, and that's where you get that cyclical yo-yo dieting. So we not only help them achieve their goals, but we want them to maintain them as well. We set them up for success. And we help to, we look at lifestyle factors. So when we work with a client, again, it's that whole body approach. We're not just looking at their diet, because we know it's never just about the diet. We give them the tools, and we help them discover the tools to manage and reduce stress levels and do other things that are going to bring their body back into balance. Go ahead, Lynn. And the program format, so it is a really convenient online program, online on your time. All the course manuals are downloadable in 7 different modules. And to test your knowledge as you're going through, we do have quizzes at the end of each module. And in 3 of the 4 nutrition modules, we do have corresponding videos that go along with the course manual, but they also teach you some new information. So we'll do a little deeper dive in the videos on some of the information that's in your manual. And then we have this fantastic resource library. So one of the things that Lisa and I talked about when we put this program together, we wanted to make it a turnkey program. And in that way, we provide the forms and the handouts that you can use with your clients. And these are beautifully done. We'll have some pictures of them later on in the presentation. And we have activities throughout the program. So it's not just reading, watching a video. You're going to do some research assignments. We've got some example case studies you can go through. You're going to be preparing menu plans. You're going to be keeping a food journal, because if those are things that we expect our clients to do, we should actually experience them for ourselves. And what we've added in, which I'm so excited about, we've put in some case studies. So this will give you practical experience. So you're working with a practice client essentially, and you're going to write up these case studies and submit them. And we're going to provide comments and feedback so that you can go forward feeling confident about working with your clients. So I think, again, that also sets us apart from some of the other programs that are out there. Okay, Lynn, go ahead. And I'm going to switch it over to Lisa to cover the nutrition portion.
Thanks, Heather. Okay, I'll spend the next few minutes going through the different modules and what you can expect to learn in each part. And I'm going to start with the natural nutrition philosophy. So this is not just your mainstream nutrition, the dietetics approach, which is more scientific based, a cookie cutter approach, which essentially provides one type of protocol for a certain condition. Like there's one type of diet for heart disease or one type of diet for cancer or cancer prevention or cancer recovery. Every single human being is unique. As Heather said at the beginning, there are 8 million people in the world, 8 million unique billion unique diets for each person. Your health is not just based on your diet. Your health is a result of your lifestyle, your genetics, your attitude, your relationship with your spirit and your soul, and the people around you. There's so much more to you than just the food that you buy at the grocery store, buy at a restaurant, or put on your plate. And our program addresses each of those aspects of life. And when you work with clients, you need to address these aspects as well, because a person can know exactly what to eat, but if they can't put that knowledge into practice, like maybe they can make their lunches perfectly well at home, but they've got fussy kids at dinner time, or they eat out too often and they're really stumped on what to eat at a restaurant or when they're traveling. All of these things need to be addressed in order to provide that holistic and unique approach. So this is a different perspective. We look at food choices and attitudes and why someone makes the food decisions that they make and what that's based on. As natural nutrition practitioners, we believe that it feeds your cells. It's the source of life. We as human beings were created millions and millions of years ago. And when we were created, we were designed as human beings to eat foods that come from our natural environment, not foods with a 10-year shelf life. And that's the natural nutrition philosophy, is to eat foods that come from nature, that are provided by Mother Earth. So I'm going to turn off my camera to continue. And Lynn, if you could please switch to the next slide. Thank you. Module 1 is divided into 2 sections, as most of our modules are. And the first section addresses the macronutrients. So carbohydrates, we go over all the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the better choices versus the not so good choices, the different types where carbohydrates are found. A lot of people associate carbohydrates with bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, and don't really realize that fruits and vegetables are also part of that carbohydrate family. So there are carbohydrates that are really important to include every single day, even if your body is resistant to certain types of carbohydrates. And of course, under that category, we address our favorite type of carbohydrate, which is fiber. And there is so much to talk about with fiber. It probably deserves a section all on its own, as a matter of fact. Fiber is, first of all, a blood sugar balancer. It breaks down slowly once it's in your body. So it can help control your appetite. It can help manage your blood glucose. And of course, it helps promote really healthy bowel movements. So as Heather mentioned earlier, gut health is key right now. The research that is happening in nutrition, so much of it is focused on gut health and the microbiome, and fiber plays an enormous role in your overall health, but specifically on the gut. So we talk about your bowel movements. What is in your toilet bowl? What does your stool look like? How often are you having bowel movements? And we ask you to describe them in detail, because you'll be doing the same with your clients. You'll be asking your clients to describe their bowel movements in detail and the frequency, because this provides such important information about your digestion. And as Heather mentioned already, digestion is really the cornerstone of a healthy body. And when I look back over the past 23 years that I've been practicing at my clients' health and how they went from a healthy body to an unhealthy body, most of their problems could have been solved had they put more emphasis on promoting good digestion. Under the macronutrients carbohydrate category, we also look at the different types of grains, which are better than others, what some of the potential issues are with grains, and gluten, of course, being one of them. And there's also a huge emphasis on balancing blood glucose levels. It's estimated that 1 out of 10 of us are diabetic, and a lot of people don't even recognize the signs or symptoms, so they don't bother getting tested. So this chapter will outline what you're looking for and also some interventions on how to balance blood sugar before it gets to the point where it's dangerous for your health. Next slide, please, Lynn. In section 2, we continue on with macronutrients. This time we focus on protein and fats. And under protein, there's again a lot to talk about. Protein is one of the most, well, they're all important macronutrients actually, but how much, the different types, and the different food sources. So of course, pros and cons with protein, as well as all the other macros. There are good choices and there are bad choices. We even have a section on, should you eat bacon? Is bacon considered a healthy food? Should it be part of your regular diet? So we take a deeper dive, as Heather said, into some of these specific types of food sources. We look at different protein supplements that can be recommended. People tend to associate protein supplements with the fitness industry, but they aren't just for that. Some protein supplements are actually considered a medical food. I give them to seniors who are experiencing muscular atrophy to rebuild their muscles and maintain their muscle mass. Fats, right now, a big trend in using fats as a key macronutrient. So we'll look at the ketogenic diet at one point in the program, and we talk about the different types of fats, the good fats, the bad fats, the ugly, the difference between dietary fat versus body fat, and the essential fatty acids, omega-3, omega-6, omega-9. Cooking with oils is such an important topic. You can walk into the grocery store and there's a whole aisle full of different oils to choose from. How do you know which ones are safe? How do you know how they've been processed? Which are healthy? Which ones are damaging? And it's actually shocking to find out that so many of the oils that we've used since we were children are actually contributing to heart disease, not just trans fats. And of course, we talk about trans fats in this chapter as well. And then we shift to beverages. Water being, of course, our key beverage, but different types of beverages like coffee and soda and what those different types of drinks are doing to our body, and also how hydrating those other beverages actually are, because some are hydrating and some are actually not. In fact, they dehydrate us. And one of the ways to notice that is to look at your urine. We talked about looking at your poop, but you want to look at your pee as well, because your urine color will tell you a story about how hydrated you are or which beverages are hydrating versus not. Okay, next slide, please, Lynn. So in module 2, we take everything that we learned from module 1 and we put it into real world settings. So here we're talking about what to do when you eat out at a restaurant, mindful eating, how to become aware of your eating habits. You know, we're so aware of our external environment, everything that's happening around us, and a lot of us don't really take the time or even know how to tune in and recognize what's happening in your own body when you're satisfied versus when you're full, why you're craving a certain food at this particular moment, why you choose to eat the foods that you're eating. So in this section here, we try to understand that. We tap into those choices and the underlying reasons behind those choices. And we also look at food labels. Next slide, Lynn. So just to get into detail here, in the first part of module 2, section 3, we move from the macronutrients in the first module into micronutrients. So here we start off with vitamins and minerals, and then we get into some other nutrients like seaweed and sea vegetables, which is one of my absolute favorite type of food or nutrient to include in my daily diet. Phytochemicals, which are nutrients that occur in plants. Zoochemicals, which are nutrients that are found only in animal foods like CLA and omega-3 or creatine. And then we talk about free radical exposure and how that is damaging to our cells and the different types and causes and sources of free radicals. And the opposite to free radicals, how we counter them, is with antioxidants. So we'll take a close look at what antioxidants are and where they can be found. And then we get into the practical stuff. So how we choose to eat and when. Healthy meal preparation and cooking shortcuts. I mean, we have to cook every single day, multiple times a day. And yes, it can be extremely tedious. It can be cumbersome, and it takes a lot of forethought. So we give you a lot of shortcuts. We help you supercharge your meals with superfoods by telling you what those are and showing you how to sneak those into your diet. We talk about what to eat when you're out at restaurants, healthy snacking. And of course, that's all wrapped up with eating on the run and portion control and how to prepare a healthy lunch for work. And then also in this chapter, we talk about calories, energy balance, like calories in versus calories out. How important are calories in your overall metabolic picture? They are, of course, important, but there are so many other factors to look at when it comes to metabolism and boosting metabolism. So we take a close look at that as well. In section 4, Lynn, if you could please switch the slides. Thank you. We get right into food labeling, because you can think you're making healthy choices, especially if you're just reading front of pack labels. But once you flip that package over and you look at the ingredients list and you look at the nutrition facts panel, you might find a different situation, especially in the ingredients list. Do you know what those ingredients are? Are you familiar? We take a look at all, not all actually, because there are tens of thousands of ingredients, but we shortlist the most common ingredients that you're going to find on food labels, especially the food additives, something that might sound like a chemical that's actually a nutrient, and vice versa, something that might sound healthy, but it's not. It's a food additive. Why is it in there in the first place? Does it need to be in there? Is there another option? And then we talk about organic foods. Are they really better for us? How do we know if something really is organic? There are actually different definitions for use of the term organic and also for the term natural foods. So we'll take a close look at that, how to identify if something truly is a natural food or an organic food or not. And also we look at the pros and cons of genetically modified organisms. These are relatively new to the human diet. They've only been around for about 20 years or so. And of course, there's some good, but there's also some bad involved with GMOs. So we look at both sides of the picture so that you can make your choices. And then the videos that accompany this module are about food cravings, the underlying causes of food cravings, because they don't just come out of the blue or for no reason. There is a reason for every single type of food craving you're going to have, and also for recommending nutritional supplements. Nutrition supplements are the domain of a natural nutrition practitioner. We look at these closely, and because of the approach we take, the mind, body, spirit, the holistic approach that we take to nutrition, we understand how, or the purpose of nutritional supplements, whereas some other nutrition professions don't look at the body that way. So when they recommend supplements, they're not taking all the aspects into consideration, like, is that supplement even going to be absorbed? Is it taken with food? Is it in a form that is easily digestible by the human body? How can you tell if the nutrient has been absorbed or if it's going right through you? So we'll look at a lot of that in this program. Next slide, please, Lynn. Okay, module 3, Heather's already mentioned several times the importance of digestion. And like I said, this is the cornerstone, because you aren't just what you eat, you're what you absorb, and you're also what you don't eliminate. Food is a building block of blocks of our cells. And if you could be eating the best quality food you can buy, but if that food isn't being digested properly, then those nutrients aren't being absorbed. So we'll take a look at the signs that your body gives you that indicate that your nutrients aren't being absorbed. One of them is if you look at your fingernails and you see vertical striations, like deep ridges on your fingernails, that could indicate malabsorption. And we explain why in this module. So we take a journey through the digestive system, and we learn how it works in every single organ and accessory organ, and how and why problems in the digestive system could lead to chronic health problems down the road. Next slide, please, Lynn. So in the first part of module 3, we take, like I said, a journey through the digestive system, looking at every single organ along the way, and also talk about mindful eating. Again, I mean, this is discussed throughout the program just as a reminder, and also to further to extend your understanding of what mindful eating actually is. So we just keep adding to it in the different parts of the program. In the stomach, low stomach acid is the main cause of so many different problems like GERD, heartburn. You know, we always think it's high stomach acid, but in many cases it's actually low stomach acid. And we explain why low stomach acid is implicated in all of these conditions and why so many problems start there. And of course, the interventions, how to conquer that naturally without taking medications or drugs. Of course, if you're on medications or drugs, you have to stay on them until you get your doctor's permission to stop. But in the meantime, you can boost up your stomach acid naturally. And digestive enzymes are part of that process. And these are enzymes that you can purchase at pharmacies or health food stores, even grocery stores. And then we move into the intestinal tract, the small intestine, where your nutrients are absorbed, and then discuss the diseases of the small intestine and the large intestine, like celiac disease and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, IBS, IBD, and more. Next slide, Lynn, please. In section 6, it focuses on the gut and the human microbiome and what's happening in there and why is it so important. And part of the reason why it's so important is because 90 to 95% of your serotonin is made in your gut. And we used to think that serotonin was just in your nervous system and in your brain. This is our feel-good brain chemical. This is the neurotransmitter that helps us relax, helps us sleep, keeps our stress levels down. But now that we know that so much of it is made in the gut, a whole new type of science has come out of the microbiome and out of gut health understanding. And we're refocusing science, refocusing the attention, not just on the nervous system, but on what's happening in the gut as far as mental health goes and the gut-brain connection. Earlier, Heather mentioned that 70% of the immune system is in the gut. Yes, that's absolutely true. In the galt and malt systems in the large intestine, which interacts with the rest of the immune system of your body. So we talk about that and the relationship between gut health and overall health and all the different chronic conditions that can come out of leaky gut syndrome or candida or dysbiosis or all the conditions that can be happening in your large intestine. And part of the approach to helping those conditions or helping to alleviate them is to include probiotics in your diet, probiotic foods and probiotic supplements, prebiotics as well. And the videos that accompany this section are brain foods and a journey through the digestive system. So you actually get a clearer picture in your mind. Next slide, Lynn. Okay, and then the last nutrition module before we get into the resource library is finding a balance, wellness, lifestyle medicine with an emphasis here on stress. Stress takes a toll on your health and it can have serious consequences that can last a lifetime. So we look at the physiological implication of stress on your health and how your diet can interact, how foods, specific nutrients, and other interventions can help you cope with or recover from stress. Also in this module, we talk about weight management and we outline a comprehensive weight management plan that includes not just calories and fiber and all the nutritional stuff, but also the emotional and the psychospiritual factors that come into play when it comes to weight and cravings and emotions, etc. Next slide, Lynn. In the first part of module 4, we talk about the natural stress response that your body goes through when it perceives stress. We talk about the specific nutrients that the body needs to manage and cope with stress and rebuild resilience. We talk here also about metabolic syndrome and how stress can lead to metabolic syndrome, which one of the signs of that is weight gain around the midsection. And as we know, that's one of the most serious places to hold fat. The fat cells that are in your midsection are inflammatory and they spread faster than fat cells anywhere else in your body. So this can like literally smother the organs that are sitting behind them. So metabolic syndrome is a big underlying condition that is being addressed by almost every physician. And we talk about it too, because there are many nutrition interventions that come into play in handling and managing metabolic syndrome. Stress, how does it affect your digestion? It's really hard to digest food properly when you're feeling stressed. So we talk about interventions to calm the body down very quickly, or how important it is to chew carefully and to change your mindset when you're about to eat. And then we look at specific nutritional protocols, specific foods, specific nutrients, specific supplements that all contribute to managing the body's stress response and building resilience afterwards. And then we have to look at inflammation. Rather than just taking drugs, there is a lot that you can do with your diet. There are foods that cause inflammation and foods that can help heal inflammation. So we take a good look at all of those and what the anti-inflammatory diet looks like. Next slide, Lynn, please. Okay, so as I mentioned, key elements for a successful weight management plan are outlined here. And of course, as practitioners of any kind, at least some of your clients will be looking for support with weight management. So part of this, as I said, is not just the nutrition piece, but also let's understand the biological mechanisms behind hunger and satiety and appetite so that we can understand the difference between the three. What are the emotional and psychospiritual factors that cause someone to eat when they're not hungry or to feel hungry when they probably shouldn't be because they've just finished eating? And then looking at the different types of trendy diets that are out there, like the ketogenic diet, the vegan diet, the paleo diet, and assessing which are any of these right for me or for my client. There are even questionnaires that come with each particular diet trend so that you can assess for not only yourself, but for your clients, which one might be right for them if they are interested in trying one of these diet trends. Now, as I said at the beginning, and as Heather said, every person is unique. So diet trends, they can be customized for a person. But if one of your clients really is interested in trying one of these, we have to understand as natural nutrition coaches, we need to understand the premise of each of these diet trends, and we need to support our clients if they're interested in trying them, so we can help them out with all of that information. So we have videos here on reducing inflammation and even sleep. Sleep plays a massive role in managing your blood glucose levels. It's a massive contributor to diabetes and also well-being and stress management and every other factor in your life, as you already know. So we'll look at some sound sleep strategies in this video. Again, nutrition interventions, what not to do when you want to have good sleep, and also some supplements that can potentially help. Next, please, Lynn. Okay, and I'm going to turn it right back over to Heather. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Lisa. That was amazing. What a tour through the 4 nutrition modules. You see, it's just jam-packed with information. But now we want to take that information and we want to be able to communicate that to our clients so our clients get the benefit. So when we talk about coaching is actually about helping the client take their idea, their dream, a goal that they have, and we want to help them to turn that into a reality. So it's helping them to achieve all of their potential that they want in their life. And that's what you're going to learn how to do in this module. You're going to learn the art of coaching. It's going to help you to build that deeper connection. You're going to learn ways for listening and to get that deeper connection. You're going to help them to achieve their goals. And again, it all comes down to long-lasting results for your clients, because when they get the results that they're looking for, they're going to refer. They're going to be your best referral source, and that will help to build your business. Okay, Lynn? All right, so we're going to go through just top line some of the chapters in the book to kind of give you an idea of what the contents are. So again, in the first chapter, we look at actually just the definition of coaching, as I just mentioned. We look at the attributes of successful coaching. Are you a good communicator? Or are you good at listening, and why those things are important? And then how a coach would actually interact with their client. Do you want to, next slide there, Lynn? Thank you. So the second chapter, I really love this one because it does give you so much more insight about working specifically with the client and how the client thinks. So we take you into understanding your client's mindset, what makes your client happy, their values, and because when you can tie values back into what they're looking to do, that's just going to make it so much more powerful for them. Limiting beliefs. So many people have limiting beliefs. They don't believe they can do certain things. And those may come from when they were a child. So we help you through exercises to work with your client to understand what maybe some of those limiting beliefs are that are holding them back, and helping them to get past those so that they can go on to achieve the goals that they're looking for. And we provide activities and exercises for you to work with your client so that you can, do an exercise for limiting beliefs, have them understand what their values are. And then at the end of this chapter, I love this. It's a little bit of NLP for those who are familiar with neural linguistics. We do a little, we provide some information on how the client communicates, because if you're able to communicate effectively with your client, if you understand how they like to communicate, you're going to be more successful, because essentially you're talking in their language. So we give you some exercises that you understand. Are they, for example, visual? So I'll give you a little example. If you have a client that's that was interested, they're saying, hey, I heard the vegan diet was really good. They're probably more of an auditory person. I feel like the vegan diet would be a really good thing for me. They're probably more of a kinesthetic person, because they actually feeling. That's what kinesthetics people do. They feel. Or I've seen that vegan diets are really good for you. They're probably communicating more in a visual way. And there's different visual cues that you can watch your client as you're interacting with them. And also, again, the words that they choose to use. And that becomes important, because it gives you clues to how they like to learn and how they like to communicate, so you can be more effective when you're interacting with that client. Next slide, please, Lynn. All right, and in chapter 3, we do a little bit of a deeper dive, which is kind of really neat, on the brain, how the brain is structured. We go into conscious and unconscious mind, how habits are formed, how people get into habits, that habit cycle, how you can break that habit cycle, and what types of motivations, intrinsic, extrinsic, what's best to work with your client. So we provide all of that information for you. And of course, it's the habits that people get into that are really challenging to get past. And we show you the cues and the rewards that you can work with your clients to create new habits that are going to be beneficial for them. Next slide, Lynn. Thank you. And then we go into the elements of change. So understanding change and the stages of change, the trans-theoretical model, which was originally developed for smokers. I think it was back in the 1970s. And you can use that stages of change model to see where your client is at. Are they ready for change? You know, they're coming to you and they're saying, oh, I'd like to, lose weight. I'd like to do whatever their goal is. But when you speak, you're talking with them, are they really ready? So these are, we're going to provide information so that you can understand where your client is. And then you can actually help to move them along those stages of change. We also show you how to create change that lasts. And we talk about the coaching timeline. So what is an appropriate timeline for working with coaching? If with a coachee or a client, if somebody's just coming in for a one-time session, you're not going to have any success with that person. So you have to understand, okay, if they want to lose a certain amount of weight or they have a health goal, realistically, how long is that going to take? And so you build your program based on where they want to go. Okay, Lynn? All right. And in chapter 5, excuse me, I'm just taking a little drink. In chapter 5, we look at how you help your client establish their vision. What is it that they're trying to achieve? You want them to be able to see what it's going to look like, feel what it's going to look like, hear what it's going to look like. You want them to be really connected with that vision, because they're going to be a lot more successful in achieving it. We help them to set SMART goals. Goals that are measurable and attainable and relevant and timely. We look at product and process goals. And so just to give you a quick example of what that would look like, say somebody came and say, hey, I want to lower my A1C. That would be a product goal. That is the end goal, the end result. The process might be, I'm going to add some more fiber into my diet, and actually making that SMART. I'm going to add more fiber every day. I'm going to have 30 grams of fiber. I'm going to put flaxseed on my oatmeal in the morning. So you get more specific, but it kind of gives you an idea. You go from, hey, I just have this idea, I want to lower my A1C, to, these are the steps I need to take to be successful. And then we give you example of smart versus not smart goals, how to take a goal and make it smart. Okay, Lynn? And in chapter 6, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is how to build rapport with your client, effective listening techniques, and then when you're interacting with them and they're talking, you don't want to interrupt. How do you utilize verbal and nonverbal active listening skills so that you're showing your client that you're listening and you're aware of what they're saying, but you're not interrupting their flow of speech? So lots of really great information in this chapter. It's one of my favorites. Okay, Lynn? And then we go into a whole chapter of coaching questions. So you can see as we're progressing through this whole coaching module, you're just building and building and building your knowledge and skills. So asking the right questions at the right time. We don't provide a script. We provide suggested questions, but really every client is individual, and depending on their story, the conversation that you're having, those questions should flow organically. So, and with practice, it does actually come, I promise you. So asking the right questions at the right time, we go into scaling techniques. So this is where you can actually quantify how committed your client is. So you can assess commitment and progress using these scaling techniques. And then the benefits of using silence. I think this is a really neat thing. So many of us, when we're talking with clients, if there's a silence, and a lot of people are not comfortable with having a gap in conversation. They're not comfortable with that silence. And so when you're having this really impactful conversation with your client and you ask them a question and there's silence, the first thing probably goes through a lot of people's minds is, oh, maybe they didn't understand me and I'm rushing to try to clarify. Take a step back, because you might have just given them the most impactful question that made them go deep inside themselves and they're thinking. So you have to give them that space. So actually one of the tips, it is great. I found this one out and I use it myself. Use it with your clients. Have a glass of water. So if the silence is there, take a little glass of water. That gives them the space. It's comfortable. It doesn't feel awkward. And you can progress from there. All right, go ahead, Lynn. And then we go into chapter 8, which is more on the structure of coaching. So what the session actually starts to look like when you put all of the elements together. And we go into a couple of the most popular structures, the GROW and the T-GROW. Okay, go ahead, Lynn. And then finally in chapter 9, and I think this is about 1/4 of the book. It is a huge section, and we literally put everything together that you've learned in the previous 8 chapters together. We take you through an entire session, right from when you start to, you have your first meeting with your client. We call it a pre-qualifying or your chemistry conversation, where you're seeing, hey, is there a fit here? How to look for red flags, when to know when to refer out. And then if the chemistry conversation goes well, how to ask for the sale. That's a challenge. I don't know, when I first started, I don't know the people that are listening out there, do you ever find it difficult to ask for the sale? I did when I first started out. So, I've got some things that I do, and we've incorporated that in our coaching module. We also, as I said before, provide you with lots of the forms that you're going to need. So a coaching agreement. So you have your form that you can provide. It's a template. You can edit it any way you like, but it gives you a good idea of what you should be using to provide to your clients when you're signing them up for coaching sessions. What the session flow looks like. And we go through everything in this chapter, but then we provide it also as a template in the resource library, so you can print it off. So you're doing your first couple of sessions and it's like, okay, what should I be doing next? You literally have a checkoff list. It's awesome. And then what to expect, as you're working with a client, because wouldn't it be nice if you started off on day 1, they had their visions, they have their goals all set, you have your milestones as they come through with their sessions. The first month they're progressing, the second month, the third month. But the reality is Not everybody gets there at the same pace. So, as we're going through what to expect, if your client's not progressing as quickly as they should be, what are some of the things we should be considering? Or maybe is the goal realistic? Are they committed? What happens if they're just not where they should be? So we provide pointers for that as well as in this program. And then it also renewing the coaching program as well. And okay, go ahead, Lynn. All right, so that is all about the coaching program. Once you've gone through coaching, we get you into the resource library. And again, it's just chock full of everything. So those first 4 modules we have available all in one convenient location in our full nutrition manual. It also contains key terms, so all the terminology information that you can use. And we have a scope of practice, so you know exactly what it is that you're able to do when you're working with clients. Again, we don't prescribe, we don't treat, we don't diagnose, but we're able to do recommending. And there's all kinds of things you can do within your scope of practice. As Lisa said, she works corporate. You can work with clients. You can work in a health food store. You can run seminars and workshops, do cooking classes. There's so many things that you can do with this program, whatever is your passion. Plus, we have all of these wonderful done-for-you forms. A lot of them, again, are editable, so you can go in, put your branding, your logo, your contact information, and hand them to your clients just like you made them yourself. We've got these wonderful exercises and beautiful handouts actually done by Lynn. She's very talented, and we've got some examples. So actually on this one, you see the healthy ingredient swap. So for example, if you're looking, okay, what can I use instead of butter or margarine or what? So we've got all of these different healthy examples of what you can use to swap out ingredients. And that's just one of the forms. Okay, Lynn, go ahead. All right, so you get a little view of what some of the handouts do look like, and they're gorgeous. Lots of extra information. So if you're talking, for example, to a client about digestive health, you can actually hand them or send them either something by email, or if you're in person, you can hand them the information they can take away with them. So lots of really great resources. Again, already done for you. You don't have to worry about. Next slide. And this is actually near and dear to my heart because I love coaching. I love these exercises. The first one, the wheel of life, because we focus a lot on nutrition, but there are so, as Lisa had said, there's so many other aspects and factors, psychospiritual, in their life that can be affecting how they're able to achieve their goals and dreams. So we take a deeper dive, and these are one of the tools that we can use. They can look and say, you know what, I'm going to rate this. Maybe I'm not where I want to be with my family and friends or my career. And that might be become kind of a focus and priority. I need to get balance into my life. And it's their perspective of their own balance, not what we think as coaches they should be at. So whatever their idea of the balance in their life should be, that's where we want to help them get to. And then the other one on the other side with the hand, this is one of my favorites. You guys can use this anytime. So this is my 5 things of gratitude. So you can think about, what are 5 things in my life that I'm so grateful for? When you first start doing this with people, sometimes they get 1 or 2 things, and then they kind of get stuck. So it's like, okay, just look around the room and say, okay, what are some of the things I'm grateful for? It's just little things. I don't know. I'm grateful for chocolate. I love chocolate. But what you'll find is gratitude is one of the things that can make you happy, right? If you're grateful for things, it makes you happy. So I say to clients, when you get up in the morning, take a look at those 5 fingers. Count your blessings. Count what makes you happy. Count what you're grateful for. If you've had a bad day and you're driving home and you're stuck in traffic and you're cranky, take a look at those 5 fingers and count what you're grateful for. It's amazing how quickly your mindset can change and your mood. All right, Lynn. All right, I'm going to hand it off to Lynn to do the business section.
All right, you guys, I'm just going to pull up my notes here just because I have been Vanna White. So I really wanted to start out with, well, saying thanks to Heather and Lisa for great explanations of the other two portions of the coaching course. But I wanted to start out my business portion with why we thought it was important to have a business course in the first place. So I'm going to tell you a little story here quickly, as this is really just going to show you the vast opportunity that there is out there in the world of nutrition. So that means including all of the amazing jobs that can be created or replicated as they are now. So when I first came out of school as a registered holistic nutritionist, I honestly thought that I was completely ready to hit the ground running. I had gone through a business course and assumed I had all the tools that I needed. So off I went, trucking along, and then I realized how incredibly difficult it was to actually run a business. So I had so many things to prepare. I had packages to create, pricing. I had to learn how to market myself. And then, of course, we received some forms in our schooling, but there was no assessments that were online or easy to send to our clients. And now I personally had a lot of experience in administration and management and sales, but this was lucky for me. I can't imagine, or I couldn't imagine what it would be like for somebody who was coming out of a nutrition school and didn't have that experience, and how difficult it would be to actually move forward. So I wasn't much into my first year of consulting that I thought there has to be a better way to do this. And so we've created a consulting platform called The Hub for holistic nutritionists to come and find their business resources for their specific needs. So I was teaching at one of the top Canadian nutrition schools at the time while we were building this project. And I often was the instructor who taught the last class in a one-year program, essentially. And of course, many of the questions I got were not in relation to their final course at all, which was eco-nutrition. It was in relation to business. So how I was running my business and they wanted to know how I was running my business, what tips I had, how could they market themselves, and what jobs could they have afterwards. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Hub and how it can support you later in your business and after you take this course. But it'll make sense why I'm bringing it up in a bit. So Lisa and Heather came to me after creating much of the other modules and said there's a huge gap in the business world for natural nutrition professionals. Will you be kind enough to write a business course for the coaching program we're doing? And so I think that really the Natural Nutrition Coach course is like having 3 programs in one. We've really ensured that you have all the tools that are needed to succeed. We have used all 3 of our expertise to bring you a well-rounded program that's going to help you really nail out an amazing business and have a really successful career that is fulfilling. And we've tried to remove any possible roadblocks that there could be so that you can start a passion-filled journey in the world of nutrition. And so here we are today, obviously explaining this to you. So the business course that we have offered you is really a special one. And I wanted to bring some of the true spirit that you can find in the industry to the business course. So I thought it was best to collaborate with many of the colleagues who are doing amazing things across Canada in their nutrition businesses. And so we have about 12 other business coaches, people who just love their job and want to share their business journey with you, or teachers from other different high-level nutrition institutions across the country as well, sharing their expertise. And so this course is really a work of passion to help bring more nutrition professionals into the growing field of wellness. And so now in this course, we are covering the many foundational pieces that you're going to need to have in a nutrition business. And they are relevant, honestly, to any wellness business. So even if you are a personal trainer already or have a different field of expertise, this course is going to benefit you anyways. And so you might as well hop into this NNC course and gain the benefits of all three of the modules, in my opinion. So number one, the first thing that we talk about is goal setting. And I know in the coaching course, they talk about SMART goals in relation to your client. But in the goal setting in our business course, it is really about setting goals for your business. So what is your timeline? How are you going to get set up? When are you going to make time for all of the little moving pieces that need to go into it? And so you might be wondering, what are those moving pieces? Well, we definitely talk about what the business must-haves are. Oh, there we go, business must-haves. I'm having a Heather moment there where I couldn't click the slide. So we talk about the business must-haves before practicing. That means things that are vitally important, like insurance and making sure you are properly covered so that you do not end up being liable for anything. Also making sure that you have your registration for your business in place and making sure the fundamentals are covered. Voila. And I have to give you a little reality check, of course, where we talk about the truth of entrepreneurship. So getting into a business of your own, it can be a challenge. It can be really difficult. There can be a full mental shift that needs to happen in there. And so I really talk about what is required with the mindset of being an entrepreneur and making sure that you are really ready to go out on your own. And if not, maybe it's better that you find a position as a natural nutrition coach, you know, in a supplement store, or finding another passion-filled project where you can use your expertise. And then we're going to also help you find your niche. And so your niche could be that your expertise is really lying in a personal training / NNC combination. And so where are your specialties is really what we're going to be talking about. Are you really digging into digestion and you want to go down that route? Perhaps you are liking the weight loss management aspect of it, or maybe you really just want to help with intuitive eating. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to define what your specialty is going to be in the nutrition area. Now, when it comes to running a coaching business, as a natural nutrition coach, we're going to talk about whether coaching is better than consulting. And my personal preference is actually the coaching method, because I feel that the mindset piece when working with clients is so important. And it took me a really long time to realize what the difference between coaching and consulting was. Now, consultant holds the expertise and the knowledge and the power. And so they're the ones giving the recommendations, and then the clients have to implement that on their own. Whereas in a coaching approach, you are there to help guide the client through these changes. And so you're putting the power back in their hands. And that is going to make your client that much more successful in the long run, as Heather mentioned. And so the coaching approach is an amazing way of taking your business forward. Then we'll cover some other ways to gain practical experience. So how you can go out into, getting networking experience and how to put yourself out there with workshops and that sort of thing. And then also networking ideas to help build your business. Are there other people you can collaborate with, like we have here at Digestion and as co-authors of this Natural Nutrition Coach program? There's great ways of building your business through collaboration and sharing each other's work, and that just builds your business that much more. Of course, we couldn't talk about business in this day and age without covering the basics of social media and marketing, because it is so vitally important, especially because we are working more and more online. But people are searching online before they're even coming to purchase your services. They're going to look and see if they can find out as much as they can about you prior to even contacting you. And so you really have to be prepared for people to Google you and see the work that you're putting out there online. So as Heather mentioned, there are some really great tools that they have provided and resources that she was very kind to comment my work on. So I've created some of those tools in the coaching sections. However, with the hub, which was what I mentioned in my story at the beginning, we have some other really amazing tools and resources for you moving into business. So one of my favorites and one of our most popular is actually a client guide to spirituality and the body, mind, spirit aspect of coaching and working in the nutrition industry. And so it has some great resources. We have, I think, over probably 20 downloadable business checklists that you can use to make sure your business is on track and set up correctly. And then, of course, we have loads of business tools that are available to you. We talk about things such as Canva for logo creation and setting up social media images. And we talk about other business tools that are going to help you run a more streamlined business. Now, I think I was also going to say that we also give you ideas for other streams of revenue. For some reason, my slide is missing on that one. But just to recap, in the in the business part of the course, you're going to be going over goal setting, the business must-haves before practicing, the truth about entrepreneurship and what it can really be like. Don't worry, I won't scare you too much. Finding your niche, coaching versus consulting and which one is right for you, how to gain practical experience, networking ideas to build your business, social media and marketing, helpful business and nutrition tools, and then of course other streams of revenue, which can include, for example, having a supplement, what's the word I'm looking for, account with some of the really high quality supplement brands where you can make upwards a 40% commission on the sale of supplements. So instead of sending them to a pharmacy or sending them over to a health food store, you can have your own account with some of these supplement companies and be bringing in extra revenue instead of losing out on that opportunity. So that's another really cool way of increasing your revenue. Now we have in there as well, 8, actually, I couldn't find number 8 for this slide, 8 live webinars where I talk about all things business. We talk about niche in depth, how to share on social, what your website needs to have on it. What else do we have? Marketing ideas that convert, how to consult effectively. And these all come with downloadable checklists to help you master each one of these topics as you set up your business right from the start. So we also have an amazing podcast that we try and get other nutrition professionals on to talk about anything that you might want to hear about. So Raina and I, we talk about getting real with nutrition. We have a doctor on here talking about chronic inflammation response syndrome, the psychology of nutrition, failing with your clients, and the mindset around changing lives. So we have some really amazing topics. This one was one of my favorites, the most recent one, when science meets a body, mind, and spirit approach. So that's just another added benefit. Now, the hub is really a place where holistic professionals can come together and get business advice and help them reach their business goals. So we also provide help with business growth and marketing. And then we have an amazingly powerful consulting platform. And this is the project that I have now been working on for just over 5 years now. And we have created really powerful assessments to work with your clients, and then also really powerful recommendation tools, including, food and symptom journals. But these are all online, and they change. You can definitely do them on the paper form, but we do have some really cool ones like a vitamin and mineral deficiency assessment and things like that. So that can just make your job that much easier and your business look that much more professional. And then, of course, when you're part of the hub, you have a practitioner directory as well. And so we put you up on our website so people can find you. And then there is the recap. I'm not sure who's taken that one on, but
I can actually do that.
excellent.
All right, it's Heather again. So we have taken you through a really deep dive of our entire program. We really wanted transparency because we wanted you to know exactly what you were going to be getting. And to recap, really, our philosophy is that holistic whole body approach. Our focus for this course is on nutrition, digestion, blood glucose, and mindset. It's a 7-module certificate program. You're getting natural nutrition, you're getting weight loss and coaching, and you're going to gain knowledge in all of those areas, as well as business. As Lynn said, 3 areas rather than 1. We're providing all those done for you client forms and templates. So you're going to have all those tools. When we came out of school, we didn't have any of this.
Nope.
So it's just like you get the benefit of having all of these things. You can hit the ground running, and you're going to have that knowledge to help guide clients to get the results that they want and deserve. And we're doing case studies so that ensure you have practical experience. You can hone your skills, and it'll provide confidence when you're working with your clients. We also have access to a private Facebook group. So, and we're on there. You can ask your questions and support, not just from us, but you're going to get it from people who are equally as passionate on the Facebook group. We are a community. So look for us, go sign up now. You don't have to have the course to do this. We're inviting anybody that's interested in natural nutrition to join us on the Medexin Natural Nutrition Coach community. And we also provide professional development. So that's kind of an added bonus. You're getting all of this, but you also have professional development. We're recognized for continuing education credits and units. So you can go on to our website, www.medexin.com, for more information on the different organizations. And we're continuing to build more organizations that recognize our course. Okay, Lynn. All right, so I guess we can pop back on so that they can see us, and we'll take questions.
Yes.
So if there's any questions, I guess you can put it in the chat, Lynn. Is that where we're going to have it?
Yeah, either in the chat or the Q&A. I've got both up so I can see them.
Okay, awesome. So I know one of the most common questions that we get is, okay, how long does this course actually take? So if from start to finish, if you were doing it end to end, you're probably 25 to 30 hours, depending on, how much time you really want to focus in on, I guess, and how quickly you absorb materials. I find myself, I'll go back and read and reread, especially before I'm doing the exam. So, but it kind of gives you a ballpark, and it's progressive. So as you're going through the program, you're doing the nutrition section first, and then you're doing the coaching section. And you do have to go through each of the modules separately. You have to pass the quiz at the end before you can progress. So we want to make sure you're absorbing the materials as you're going through. And then, so it's about the 26 to 30 hours. Now, with the addition of having some case studies in there, it might take a little bit longer, but it's worth it because you're going to get the practical experience and you'll know how to write up a case. So if you're working with a client, these are all the types of notes that you're going to want to take when you're working with a client, so you can go back and you can review. All right, I think we might have a question there, Lynn.
It says, on your website, when I sign up to get in touch for info, it leads me to sign up. I think it's for the program. Is this necessary? There's a free preview on the Natural Nutrition Coach page. So you can go in there, and it is necessary to just put in your email. That's so that we can stay in touch with you. It's not to riddle you with loads of things that are not interesting. It's just a way for you to grab the information. So you do get a full introduction to the course through that link, if I'm answering the question correctly.
Absolutely. It actually gives you access to the introductory module. So you get that because it's the first part of the course. So the introductory module actually is the outline for everything we talked about today. And it's actually the indexes from all of the modules. So you know exactly what you're going to get. And it gives you also the module 1, section 1, which is our first on the macronutrients in the nutrition section. So it kind of gives you a feel for what the course is going to be like. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Should we share the rest of the slides and then come back for any last questions?
Okay. And I mean, don't be shy, people, because or maybe we've done such a great job that we've answered every single question.
Yeah, there's no more questions.
Okay. So yeah. So, and if anybody thinks that we do have our contact information at the end, so absolutely feel free to reach out and ask your questions and join the Facebook group, and we can touch base there as well. So as the person that went on for the chat, thanks for that question. We do have a free preview available at www.medexin.com. You can learn more about the program, although I think we've been pretty comprehensive on what we talked about today. One thing I do want to mention is that we do have 2 versions. We have a Canadian and a US version. And people might think that's kind of funny, but we are accounting for the way we spell. So in Canada, we spell a little differently than some of our words than we do in the US. We also have different statistics. Now, we do use interchangeably global US and Canada statistics, but there are a few differences on label reading and so on that we're accounting for in the 2 different versions. But essentially the foundation is identical. It's the same. The coaching module is identical. The business module is identical. So those are really the only 2 differences. Oh, important difference if you're in Canada. We do have the natural nutrition program available in Canadian dollars, which is yay, because a lot of these courses are not. And we also have it for our American colleagues and other people from around the world in the US dollar.